invitation to let's talk about the 90s so that we can have an understanding.
No, it's not an invitation for genuine. Give me a chance. It's not an invitation for general and serious debate. It is not. It is something to try to shift the narrative over to something else and something to give their people a talking point to try to go and run with. Because no right-thinking person has anything positive to say about what happened in the 90s. That's just a fact. See? Listen, if PJ wanted to talk about how well Omar ran the economy based on the number of IMF tests that he passed, then he would be giving the JLP double compliments, because guess what? For 8 years, Nigel Clark had IMF tests in front of him that he passed year after year after year after year. And he did that while bringing the NIR to record levels. He did that while building resilience in our economy, something that we never ever had before. Every time something went wrong, we had to borrow money.
Explain the resilience, sir, please.
To shock.
Resilience?
Yeah, people are
is the ability of the company to withstand external shocks. Because of where we are located and because of the size and openness of our economy, we don't have price controls. We don't anchor our currency to the US dollars. We have what is basically an open economy where we allow people to import things freely. Yes. And because of that, we, and also because of where we are geographically located, we are very susceptible to external shocks, hurricanes, natural disasters, oil prices, financial meltdowns in the United States. All of that have a direct and significant impact on Jamaica. Because we're so small, the smallest thing what happen up north impacts us greatly. Now what we see happening with our country is that if something like last year should happen, where we had a hurricane, a tropical storm, and persistent rain, all in the same year, you find that the company is still able to recover quickly. Back when the 90s took place, whatever it is, and that wasn't even an external shock, that was an internal mismanagement of the economy that happened. It took over a decade for the country to recover. That's what happened. See? So now we have an economy that can withstand certain shocks. Right now, we hear Donald Trump talking hard. And what your prime minister is saying, we want to continue to build our country so that we don't need to depend on nobody. We can stand on our own 2 feet. That wasn't what things were like before. So if PJ genuinely was a big fan of the macros, then he'd be a big fan of the JLP managing this economy.
Jamaica. Can I add something before you change the topic here? Now, the PMP have this thing about, the Jamaica Labour Party promised 5 in 4, and when last the economy grew by 3 and so percent. The PMP failed to grow Jamaica when the rest of the world was growing over 100%. We only grew by 28% in real terms, while nothing significant was happening in the world. When we won government in 2007, we had the world recession, the world came to standstill, countries collapsed, yet to recover. Jamaica was one of them who suffered significantly from the world recession 2008 to 2010. So we took over government in 2016, right? And when we were on the verge of transforming Jamaica into something else, 3 years after that, we had COVID-19 who shook the world again, pushed the world into the ground. We have the Russia and Ukraine war. Significant impact on staples because Ukraine is the largest producer of wheat. Russia is the top 5 of oil producing countries in the world. So you had the two of them fighting. That is going to have supply chain demand while we're coming out of COVID. We had the Red Sea problems with ships couldn't pass through the Red Sea because of piracy. We had the drought in the Panama Canal. We had reduction in movement of goods and services causing inflation. So when you have comrades coming and accountable, don't grow by 3%. What about the 5 in 4? Everything needs to be in context and not just putting words out here. So we see Colin Bell, the rejected.
Before you come back in so sir, tell me, how is the party to package this message so that it can benefit them at the election.
Compared
Alright,
against the
so
performance
we
of
were
the
faced, we were faced with a hurricane.
Which
Yeah.
party, neighbor?
I'm speaking about the Labour Party.
The Labour
Yeah.
Party package already, but go on, you know.
All right, so we had severe rain, 30-year weather event last year. We had a cyclone and we had a hurricane. A prudent government was looking forward. I remember when we floated, when the Jamaica Labour Party bought these insurance, PMP was complaining. PMP was saying that the way government are doing foolishness.
But neighbor,
Right.
remember?
Neighbor, you ask
We had 5
you ask
insurance
how
policies.
Yes, go ahead, sir.
you ask how the Labour Party needs to package them thing. Labour Party honestly has such an excellent record. The biggest thing they need to watch is all the PNP lies and the PNP's ability to tell people to ignore the numbers. When you look about it, and I go on a number of these lives, you tell people about the record level of employment in the country, them tell you to ignore statin. They didn't ignore statin during PJ's time, but they want us to ignore statin now. We talk about how murders are going down at an alarming rate, something which now everybody recognizing. They tell you that that the JCF fudged the numbers. You look on them and you talk about the stability of the US dollars. When last have we seen this sort of stability in our currency against the US? I mean, it's at a record hold in terms of the so the dollar is just not sliding down the place. See? And when you point that out to them come and them say, oh, it's because BOJ intervening. But even while BOJ is intervening, the net international reserves continues to grow and grow at some levels that we have never seen before.
Right,
Make the connection.
But bigger than that, and this is something I always like to tell people.
No, go about that. No, go about that.
Hold on, we know.
No, this is one.
Hold on, we know.
Go on.
Make the connection, sir, between what you just said and the minimum wage earner who is going to say to you, but I'm not feeling that.
Okay, but that's an excellent point. That's an excellent point. And people are able to say that simply because people try to trick them about the maths and about everything. Let's look at what the facts are. The cost of living, according to Statin, has gone up by 70% since 2016. However,
70%.
minimum wage has gone up by 140%.
Hold
Let's
on,
look at it another way.
Don't go fast there, man. So you are saying that the cost of living over the same period
is far less than the increase in minimum wage.
In other
So
words,
the minimum wage earner
better
has more
position.
spending power.
The
about
minimum
inflation.
wage earner is in a better position today than they were.
Better position than they were before.
Huh?
We did an exercise, We did an exercise. We said take 70% of what a minimum wage earns, and let's just buy a certain amount of food, and let's try to buy the same amount of food this year from a minimum wage earner, taking the same percentage. And the minimum wage earner, 70% of his salary, can buy more of a typical basket of groceries than for a minimum wage earner back in 2016. We have checked it every single side.
So where is the
Zin,
disconnect? Where is the disconnect, sir? Where is the
The
disconnect?
disconnect is in a perception. The disconnect is in a perception.
Neighbor.
It's in somebody being able to tell a bunch of people that no man, you're poorer off. Then you flood TikTok with a bunch of people trying to trick you and tell you that you're worse off, and people then try to buy into that lie.
Neighbor,
Yes, sir.
you ask a question, how does the party package something like this? I know the party has commenced some packaging already, but I hope the party remembers at the 38% of the people who voted in the 2020 general election, 78% of that number, by my calculation, are those who are below the education level that is required to propel the society forward. Now, when you put a messaging together, do you put a messaging together to talk about percentage and 70% and statin to people who are under or uneducated? Or do you say to those people, before 2016, in the PMP prior years, you were earning 480,000 per year. For the 8 years since JLP have been in power, you are now earning $980,000 per year. You're almost a millionaire. Again, the political communication is what must take center stage. And it is what the PMP are good at.
Exactly. And that is why
Political communication cannot be talking about percentage.
Percentage, exactly.
And
starting, that's true. And
but hold up. In terms of how you package it and you put it, I haven't gotten down to how you present it, But you have to start out from knowing what falls in your advantage.
Yes, man.
So the first thing,
it is
a minimum wage earner being better off falls in favor of the JLP. And the JLP shouldn't shy away from it. But
let me go now.
Look, you remember what Andrew used to do? When the opposite was it true? When back when the JLP was in opposition, the cost of living was rising up on the back of people. What did Andrew do? Bring a basket of goods to Parliament to try to show the lesson.
Yes.
That was what he did.
Because
how much somebody watch JIS?
He had something in his Facebook where he was doing price comparison and showing you.
Right, that works.
You should be brave enough in doing the same
good
thing.
Example is when Nigel Clark took the receipts of the taxes and
I saw that the other day.
People, what I want you to understand is that
is politics.
That is something. That is something that appeal to us.
Yeah, man. That was a huge thing. The man play ring games with the taxes. Let
me complete. So I can understand what I'm saying. Nigel taking the tax receipt. It appeals to us. We are above the lumpens. You see, we have a society that is very funny, And until we learn that the society must be dissected and then the messaging must be put together to reach these different groups in the society, then we will not succeed. No. Nigel bringing the tax receipt. We understand that. We are above the lumpens. If 38% of people who vote, 78% of them can't read or barely can sign a name, what does that say to us? It says to us that 12% out of that are people who are from the middle class, and then another 8% are from the upper middle class. It means that the people who really understand this communication are the very least that vote. But who are the people depended on by the politicians to vote in an election? The people who don't understand much. And I can blame both sides for having invested heavily into keeping some people at that level for many years. Even though we have seen emerging a JLP strategy that is moving away from that almost entirely. But the PMP are still stuck there because that is where they get their support. And so a case in point, me I talk to a gentleman. I say, big man, did you know that you're earning more money now than you used to earn before 2016? The man said no. The man said the PMP say he might earn less. I say, what do you mean by that? Him say bread raise. And him say flour raise. I say, how much flour raise by? About $30. I say, how much bread raised by? About $160. Before, it was 300 and something. But 330 or 340. I say, so you don't realize that if you're getting more for your pay, then you're able to afford the rise in prices on those items that you depend on to keep your family going. Him say, what I mean? We have to have conversations with these people with a dollar value, not the percentage value. True. When you tell a man about starting out in the street, he say, "Oh, name some." He might think your name. Yes.
No. Two things protecting JA. One, you have to understand that bread argument trick, because everything don't raise at the same rate, and bread is one item that has risen at a higher rate.
We can have this kind of academic conversation. No, I'm not talking about. We him not understand this academic conversation.
We use an example.
No, man. Protecting JA. You cannot tell me that somebody cannot put together a political message to reach the poorest. You cannot
Of
convince
course
me
they
of that.
can.
No, he's saying
You
that.
know I'm not convinced you otherwise.
It starts.
I'm just saying to you,
It
all right.
starts by.
Let me give you another
Yeah.
case. Hold on, let me
What
give you
you're
another
taking is
case.
saying it's not what
If
you
you
say, it's
put
what
an
you say.
argument together, that is an intellectual argument. You only reach the middle class who got
No.
soul.
I'm
But
not
if you
talking
put an
about any
argument
intellectual.
together, if you put
No,
an
man, I'm
argument
not
together
talking
to
about
reach the man on the
I'm not
street,
talking about an intellectual argument.
but we're
I'm
talking about the
saying
packaging.
you are trying.
We're talking about the packaging.
Yeah, and I'm saying that you can package an argument that reaches the common man that says you are better off where cost of living is concerned.
I am
You
not
can
saying no. I'm
package
just
that.
talking about how we put
No,
the
but
packaging,
protecting
how we
is just
put it
telling you
together.
how. He's just telling you that.
I'm not
yes,
saying no.
language.
I'm not disputing.
You're
I'm
not
saying
disputing.
how. Because
So
we cannot use statin and
He's focusing
statistics
on
No, I never said
the
that.
method.
to the man we
I never
can't
said
read.
to you statin. I never said to you statin.
I guess
never
we can
said
move
that.
forward
Okay.
Because we both understand each other. Because
I said the
I'm not-
starting
you see,
point
again,
is
you're
to
not
recognize that
understanding.
where you're standing on the
I am
sound.
not
No, man.
attacking your argument in the engineer. You know, understand what I'm saying? I am talking broadly to the issue. I'm not attacking anybody's argument.
Talking about packaging.
right.
I'm not talking about anybody's specific argument. I'm talking about the packaging of the message. I'm not talking about your argument as against mine as opposed to somebody else.
Yes,
All right,
but-
All
but-
I'm saying
let me-
is,
let me- let
when
me
I
explain.
dissect the numbers, when I
let me
dissect
explore
the numbers,
Yes.
the 38% of the people who vote in an election, almost 80% of them can't read or can barely read. So it is how we put the messaging together.
I understand.
Correct. I agree with that. I agree with that.
I
We have
understand
to pay attention to how we put that message together. I totally agree with you with that.
Yes,
Oh.
but engineer,
Because even though the man a complain say your bread price gone up, he still can afford to buy a bread. How? You have to show him how he's able to buy that bread, even though the cost of bread has gone up.
correct.
Because
No.
I
The
never see-
angle is that you cannot reduce it to bread. You have to reduce it to a basket of goods. Don't reduce it to one item.
No, it's an example we are using. Some we can connect now. We not talk about a basket of goods. We have what in a mackerel, we have bread, we have some rice. I'm just speaking a single item. When a person go to the shop and he say, all right, I'm used to buy bread for $50, but now the bread price that 80. He doesn't even realize that yes, even though the price has gone up, I am still able to buy that bread because my salary has increased because of what the government has done.
We did an
bridge-
example. We did an
That bridge
example
needs
with
to be
bread.
that bridge needs to be connected so that
Yes.
the people can appreciate it that yes, the cost of living has gone up. But
We know-
I am not worse off because of the cost of living has gone up because my
know.
salary has increased. And
We did
therefore,
exactly that,
I can still be
with
subsidized.
even the same commodity bread. And when we worked it out, right, we realized that with the new minimum wage, right, the new minimum wage earner is now able to buy, I think it worked out to be about 6 more breads or so. And we did it by the dollar value. So I know exactly what you're talking about. And I'm glad Protecting JA brought up that because I think we need to focus on how we present the message. And that's what the PNP is good at.
That
Because
is-
the PNP is good at repackaging. Even what PJ was doing the other day, he was trying to repackage the PNP's past failure and to sell it as success.
Yeah,
We
Right?
should have, I think the Jamaica Labour Party needed as an organization, not as government, but as a party, needs to get an international marketer to come in on board and package the message. Somebody who has probably knowledge in campaign
Winner.
runnings
Winner.
to do this.
I'm
Yeah?
going to miss Nigel Clark for the budget presentation. Because Nigel Clark, if you notice, was growing in the politics, you know. He was becoming good at that, you know.
Foresight and winner. Good afternoon, everyone.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, I want to give one quick example of something that happened last week and nobody catched on to it. On, I think, Monday last week, not this Monday, Monday before, the president of the Egg Farmers Association came on the radio and stated that eggs are going to go up 30%, possibly because increase in gas. So I was standing with somebody and I said, but inflation not reached this. So I said, gas price not gone up 30%. So how him to say that? Lo and behold, find out that the man named Paul Campbell is a comrade. So they might try to subliminal messaging, right, to make people feel like the sky will fall down upon them.
Is it the same Paul Campbell online here now?
Ivy, what station did you hear that conversation on?
On NNN.
Nationwide?
Yes, nationwide in the morning. About 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
Campbell, connect again.
You hear me?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I had to question it, and these are some of the small things that might just slip by and make people get cultivated, so to speak, in the nuances that the opposition are trying to push, right? Because I heard you talking about something 2017, 2018 or 2019, you know, our inflation rate was 2.3%, and guess what? We had to fight to push it up back because it was too low and it would have created problems. All them something that we need for market, so we go as low as those things we were doing so well before COVID. And then now we steady the ship now. And this man now want come talk about, because him still want to go on in the United States, want to say 30% increase on eggs. Right? And none of we not catch it and mash it up. You get away with it.
No, let me tell you something. What the challenge is? What the challenge though? Let me answer. It's when a man is still struggling, right? He will always. It is hard to bring him back to compare past struggles to his current struggles, because a man who is struggling, what's on his mind is his current struggles, you know, right? So it is kind of sometimes difficult to convince that man that even though you're struggling now, your strugglings are not as harsh as it once was back in the days, because him still a struggle. Right? And the PNP knows that, so they play and do in the minds of those people. Right? Now, one of the things we need to do, we must always do comparison. Because it's not only about telling that man, because you can't tell a man, say, well, I struggle, I tell him same life good. That's not the aim. The aim to let him fear going back to the PNP, to make him know that the PNP is not a better option. Right? That's the real aim, you know. So what I'm gonna say, okay, minimum wage can't buy nothing. You have to remind him that it was only 6,200 in PMP, because sometimes they don't remember. I'm gonna earn 50,000 a week. No, sometimes him just remember, all that is on his mind is the current struggle. Him don't remember say the 6,200 and earning at 2016 or prior to 2016. Him don't remember that, right? It is our job to remind him that PNP is not a better option. Because
I totally agree.
A lot of the persons.
I totally agree.
Exactly. A lot of the persons who are struggling now, and I like say them that live good life, and since 2016 them start struggle. Or some big man.
Yes.
45, 50. A long time them are struggle. Some of them need to struggle even worse than the PNP. But because he's still struggling now, right? He's not really interested in thinking for himself. That, you know, say a long time I struggle.
Foresight, engineer. There is a view out there that in this budget, the government must raise the minimum wage again. What do you say about that?
I'll think about it some more. All right. Yes. I haven't sat down. I had a particular view, and I wanted to look at some more numbers before I jump in and say it. So I'm not finished with my analysis where that is concerned yet. I agree with what was said before. People are very forgetful, and people are very focused on what they're going through now. Back when the PNP was in charge, minimum wage was around $40-something US a week. Now it's at $90-something US a week. There is no way you can tell me that $45 US in 2016 is better than $90 US today. No way you can.
So what is causing
but a lot of
perception?
People,
what is causing this perception in Jamaica? And this is a 46% saying we're in the wrong direction. Blue Dot say 42%.
There are a couple of things. A lot of things. Generally, any party that's in power, especially if you have been in power for a long time, is going to have most of the country saying, "Yeah, we're headed in the right direction." Most of the time, most people are gonna vote and say you're going in the wrong direction. Just as a general rule, when you're in power for that length of time, even if you're doing a lot of great things, most of the population won't agree and say the country is going in the right direction. Most of them will say it's going in the wrong direction because that's a part of human nature.
But the
also-
policies of the government, sir, has largely been designed to bring these people up out of poverty.
That is true. That is
Yes.
true.
And when
But
you
the
look at the
bottom line is
investment,
that
for
people
example,
will
in-
generally think more can be done. That's a natural part of human nature. Look at what's happening in housing. They have improved on housing. But if you ask a man right now what him think about what's going on in housing, he will say, boy, rough. The government have to do more. So that's a natural part of the thing that you have to deal with it. But the second thing is that there is, again, the whole issue of perception. And while the government was busy governing and busy trying to lead the country, the PNP, they were out there campaigning and out there selling a particular narrative that nobody was confronting or was opposing because the government was
You are saying
busy
that the
governing.
party was slow to respond to the PNP's.
Yes, they were. Yes, they were. That is, I don't think people will disagree. A lot of the time when PNP were out there and they were on the road and they were selling the story, the JLP was on the road at the same time countering the narrative. And so they were given a bit of space to say most of these things. And what has happened since the JLP now has started to hit the road and they start to go and they start to respond to it, you see that people are responding to what the JLP is saying and now recognizing that the PNP just basically just made up most of this stuff. And that's the
So you
fact.
think the pessimistic view that many people hold of Jamaica has been inculcated in them through a design message by the PNP?
If you ask most people what they think about Jamaica and where Jamaica is headed, most people will tell you that Jamaica not now go on. We're a third world country. We don't know how to govern ourselves. Oh, this is going wrong here and that is going wrong here, and the best way out is for me to go to foreign. If you ask most what you'd call the typical Jamaican, that's the view that we'll have of Jamaica. And so what we have been seeing over the last few years, where we are governing our affairs, where we are getting respect worldwide to how we govern our economy, where we are not begging for help and we are not leaning onto other countries to see our way through. This is a new reality for most Jamaicans, and that's a fact. This is absolutely the new reality for us. So it will take a couple of people a while before them start recognizing and agree that we're headed in the right direction and that the country is going forward. Zin? But it will happen. Look at what happened.
The concern, my brother, is what they call the common man. There is the view that we haven't taken the common man along on this journey. It is not a journey that we could put the common man in a house or give him a car or educate his children just like that. But in this
Neighbor.
9 years,
Neighbor.
Neighbor.
Let me
The
make one
common
more
man is
point
on
to
this
neighbor.
journey.
Neighbor, look at crime. We experienced an 8% cut in crime 1 year. Came back the following year, experienced a 19% cut. And when you ask people what's going on, a lot of people say, no man, crime will get worse. It will get worse. That was a common man talking.
Let me just say something here.
The common man is on this journey. Okay? The common man is on this journey. Again. If you have a company selling a particular product, that company hires an advertisement company, a marketing company, and tells that marketing company, this is the customer base that we want to appeal to. That marketing company now puts together a strategy and an appeal with a message surrounding it to appeal to that base. The JLP, is guilty of, from the 80s come right through the 90s. The JLP is guilty of politicking or not politicking. Again, our society is made up of people of different stages, and if we want to call them class, we can call them class. Because in order to deal with the problem and find a solution, we have to be able to identify things for what they are,
True.
There are people in our societies way down the ground there, so many of them unreachable. There are people
They have vote.
That is it. So it is for the party now to begin to look at it as it is, in order to be honest with themselves, that we must coin either a message or a few different messages to reach the different segments of the society.
But
we have a
foresight
society with a high
online there,
distrust.
and we have spoken at other points of this very point. The fact of the matter is that there pervades in the society a view that many people are being left behind. And
That's what I'm saying to you. They are coming along. The government is carrying them, but the people in the society, we have some people in our society where we have to definitely tell them, say, yeah man, that way I look on, what color? And him say a blue. Yeah man, a blue. If you're not confirmed, say a blue, them I look on the blue and tell themselves, say, no sir, no blue, that I must want a fancy color. You see, we have a society where we literally have to tell people, say, we are doing this. All when them see it, yeah man, a road a fix man, and a government a fix it.
But
Because
your
all the
political
same people need to do,
environment is
competitive.
Your
All the
political
same people need to
the
do.
truth has to be sold. Neighbor, you remember when I said that the truth has to be sold, the same thing protecting Jay saying no,
The truth
Yeah, but what I'm
must be
saying
sold.
to you is that the political environment is competitive. And my friend engineer just pointed out that if the Labour Party was in opposition, they would have found some cracks, no matter how good the part the government is doing. You want to get into power. And so you have to find a way to communicate a message that counters the government's
No,
prosperity
but
message.
hold on, but neighbor, no. There's a difference between what I've seen, how I see the JLP has operated in opposition and how the PNP has operated. The JLP has pointed out stuff which are factual. See?
Exactly.
And has
Coming
offered
and telling
alternatives.
coming and telling people that the murder rate isn't real, that the growth in the economy isn't real, that the growth in NIR isn't real, that all of the wonderful
Why can't
stuff
they
that the
do that?
JLP saying is not. No, I've never seen the Labour Party done that.
But they
never.
have a market for it. It's politics. It is you who are supposed to counter that because you have your opponents.
No, man. No. What the GLP attacked while they were in opposition.
No, man, I'm not. You're
was
not
that they-
getting what I'm saying. The
Go ahead.
Labour is talking about the competitive nature of the politics. So yes, we know that the PMP, they are nasty and they are lying. We know that already. So since we know that for the past 60 years, why have we not put together a strategy to hold their feet to the fire? They're always going to do that. On their first PMP are doing
Protecting,
it.
I agree with you 100%.
On
But
their
then,
first PMP are doing it, That's them.
what PNP has
How
done,
have
the
we done
engineer,
that?
the engineer, it's PNP as position in the minds of the people that they are the party that cares more for the poor, right? So already, anything the PNP said, those set of people who believe that is going to be more receptive to the PNP argument
That's it.
because they have already put in position that in the mind. Over the years, they have marketed the party as that party, right? So when the PNP is better able to sell struggle as prosperity, much easier than the JLP is able
The
to sell
JLP is struggling to sell prosperity.
prosperity as prosperity.
Because struggle to sell prosperity, brother.
Exactly. Right? And PNP will still struggle as prosperity much easier because over the years they have told the people that they're the party for the poor.
What is
Because
PJ
in
doing?
politics, the
PJ
JLP
said
has
it's
not
struggling.
crafted a message over the years to effectively counter that. And I keep saying, much of what we're experiencing now is because the JLP is not tackling the root cause of the problem.
Okay.
And the root cause of the problem is because the notion that PNP puts out here and the perception that they create in the mind of the people is that they're party for the poor. So even when their governance runs counter to that kind of perception, people don't see it. Right?
People will never see it.
To the positive reality, right, of the JLP, right, is sometimes what the people
progress and GDP. Who knew?
Hey, 1 minute. First things first. First things first. You need to know how to package your message. That is the first thing. So you sort of mixing up packaging with, okay, you're not going to say this. So percentage is a way to package something. But you don't must use the word percentage. You can just use the word better off, and you can convey better off in a number of different
That's exactly
ways.
what you just make. Me not gonna talk to you man about no percentage. Me I tell you say you better off
And
because
that's what I'm saying. That is what I'm saying. I'm saying they shouldn't run away from the fact that people are better off. They should attack it frontally and show people that they're better off. Second thing, I always think that there's a way to resonate with the little man, which is to figure out what are the things which are important to the little man. What's wrong with that?
And bread.
And no, more than that,
butter.
the JLP was able to figure out helping people with school fee and helping people with health care was an important thing to the little man.
Yeah,
and it brought them back to power.
Yeah, while you're government, that is okay. But when a time for election, you can't tell man say student loan bureau. How much money I got school?
No man, you think student loan. Think about it another way. You are telling wait.
The engineer.
Wait. Suppose they're successful in bringing in a school bus system.
Little man will live somewhere when I get no school bus. Him no matter about that.
No, we're not talking about the one-off,
the
man.
engineer.
Suppose
It depends on
they're
who.
able to do it right across the country.
You're
telling me that won't affect people?
The engineer.
It affects people, but that's why you have to have different tiers of messaging. A lazy the Jamaica Labour Party.
So when it comes to the little man, the message cannot be too general. I have to be more personal.
Lazy.
So you see what I find the engineer, because we talk with different kind of people, right? When it comes down to the little man, it depends on what the little man is doing. If he's a taxi man, he's going to be interested in road.
Okay.
Right? He's going to be interested in how many trips he can make a day.
How much gas you can buy?
How much gas? Gas prices. If it's a farmer, the farmer interested in farm road,
fertilizer,
yes. Whatever. So you want to talk about the government programs that will help in that regard.
Okay.
So you have to kind of get specific with them. That's the whole thing with the liquor man.
The household helper will take the JTC bus and I pay $50 now. That appeal to her.
The bearer.
Exactly.
The development with the bearer now. You have to make him know. Right, if I'm a bearer, I'm a young bike. You can make 15 grand a day being a bearer. All those offices, right, represent a delivery location. So don't look at it as it's just a big man thing, or him just helping rich friend them. Don't look at the development at that. The residential apartments that are being built for the little house cleaner or the helper. You can say, look here, all those represent opportunities. Right? To earn $4,000 a month to clean an Airbnb.
I want to ask you guys a question. Is it that you guys are saying Andrew is unable or incapable of communicating to the little man?
No, man. No, we're not saying that.
Because you guys specifically said
we win two elections in a row, so that may I listen to.
No, but I just heard them say Bruce Golding was good at doing that. And I also heard Protecting JA saying that the Labour Party was lazy, which is lazy in terms of their messaging, but I disagree. The problem that the Labour Party has is that they're governing.
Yeah, man, I raised that point. I raised that point earlier. I said that we were busy governing, and the PNP got the space to. Yeah,
right,
go ahead.
You did, but Protecting JA said a while ago that JLP is lazy, and I disagree. What I can agree to is expectation that the party is expecting people to know.
The government was governing. The party, the government is not the entire party. You have to keep a certain segment of your party busy, because guess what? It is politics that make politician. It is politician that make minister form government.
No, man, no. Protecting
like Trump,
JA.
you know.
No,
but
wait.
I love
Protecting
his
JA.
approach.
No.
Trump
Wait a
start
man. Wait a
campaign for the
minute.
DM going to power. Funny
Yeah,
team
but
start campaign.
yeah, but protecting JA, understand a couple of things. The Prime Minister have actual things he has to do as the Prime Minister. You
The
know.
prime, I never mentioned the
Vaz
prime
has
minister
stuff he has to
once.
do as a minister. You know.
Yeah, but yeah, engineer, if you
Let's
said
talk
to
about
me
the
that I have
party. You know.
mentioned the prime minister, I've never mentioned the prime minister. I said the party.
No, yeah,
But I
but
never said
no,
you
but you
mentioned
need
the
the
Prime
big, but you
Minister.
need the
Party is
big,
more than
but
the
you
prime
need the big
minister.
hitters. No, man, you need the big hitters, man. You need the involvement
You
of
know,
the big hitters
you know
to,
what
to
I'll
ring
say
home
to
the
you. You know what
message.
I'll say to you, engineer. The party has not yet commenced their campaigning, but we are actually leading in the poll. Who caused that? It is us bloggers that give the party that edge.
But
And the message
then
party
you
are
Not
said
sending
only
to
that,
little
again.
not
people.
only
But
that,
then,
no, that's not the only reason.
hold on,
That's
please.
not the
Okay.
only
But then
reason.
again, the party is not the members are the elected officials. We are the party. So if we're going to say the
Marlon,
party is
but
lazy,
guess what? You say,
we ourselves are lazy
but
then.
we are talking about Party Central. Where was Marlon Morgan? Marlon Morgan was always there.
But
You know?
the thing
Where's
about it that I am
Andre
telling you,
died
what
here?
I'm telling you is that what we are saying, okay, you guys made mention to the leader bringing a basket to the parliament. That means a lot of people learn visually. You also mentioned that the previous finance minister brought the tax receipts to the parliament, right?
How does
So
that
we
appear
learn.
to?
Just allow me to speak now, please. So we are saying that people learn visually. So if me see road a fix, if me I see good things on the news, if me see hospital a repair, I am expecting you just the same way that you were able to understand what I was saying with the basket and the tax receipts, to understand now that road a fix government at work, or the same party that you're expecting is working. So the two probably no go together. Yes, there is a message that is directed at a particular group or a class, as you guys mentioned, that has worked. But where is the rest of the country? The rest of the country sit down and will make them same people here with low IQ, 5th grade or 3rd grade education decide for them.
Yes,
All
Makes
right.
sense.
And that's
they
why we're
will.
talking about the
But be
packaging.
careful because if you're not
well,
motivated and we don't
well,
know.
I
That's why
saw,
we're talking
I
about the
saw,
packaging.
no, I have seen a shift in the party stance. Before, before September, the party was governing. And since, so like October moving on, you saw the party leader more party meetings in the different area councils, in the different constituencies. You saw that they were carrying a lot of those live, maybe on Nationwide, or you saw it happening and coming over on TikTok and stuff. You saw a greater presence. You saw, even with the ministers themselves, you saw that they were putting out more stuff about what they were doing. You saw a stronger messaging and a more focused messaging coming out from the JLP. Zin? And it has to be led from the top. It can't just be a thing where you say, oh, you're going to leave it to Marlon Morgan and his guys to sort of lead that message.
And
No,
we're talking
Let-
about
Let,
after the
and let me
party was
share
woken up.
The
and let me
engineer,
share something
We're
with
talking
you
about after
guys
the party
the
was
other
woken up.
night.
the most
We-
effective messaging about the party coming from the vloggers, right?
Exactly. Foresight. Let me just say this, Foresight. Let me just
Hold
say
on,
this real
Lashika.
quick.
Hold on. All right, go ahead. All right. Me just do one land something still. Me just do one coming here so answer
Go
something.
ahead. It's okay.
All right. So the engineer, what I'm saying is that the party, right, is doing a lot when it comes on to governing. But I'm not sure at this point if we're doing enough when it comes on to politicking, right? And we are the warriors that are on social media that is keeping, or that is giving the party some traction, right? The vloggers here. Don't underestimate the power of social media, right? We are the one on the battlefield. But in terms of messaging, I think we have found one thing in that era. The party itself, sorry, not we, the party itself is found one thing. Last year, you can say we're part of the party, but we're not talking about us now. I'm talking about the party itself, right? We think we have found one
How
thing.
many of us, right? How many of us have been pushing the thousands of videos that are coming out on a day, on a weekly or
Good
monthly
argument
basis,
that
right?
Nice.
If many of us, who came and just come on the live them and just sit down and comment, were reposting the videos when labor rights post them, right? We're pushing out the videos, forwarding them. You know what we forward? PNP message. Oh, PNP, I said this, PNP, I said that.
Lashika,
Right?
I would have
The-
just
the-
come on, man. Come on.
I
But just
am-
give yourself credit. I think
listen
we
to
are
me
doing
now,
an
please.
excellent job.
I am
I'm not-
saying we
Yeah.
can do way better than what we're doing. We can count the pages on TikTok that push the videos. Am I lying? How many people when them see the same video them where come from the party hierarchy repost the video them? How many of us have 2 page? One we post about the government, one some we don't have no personal page on TikTok like myself. You understand what I'm saying?
I
So
do it,
while
you know.
we are saying the party did I do, because the party realized that social media is the thing, but we latch on to what PNP is saying most importantly. You see the same thing when PNP come twist. The party would have put out one video of the minister debunking that before PNP even come out on platform come say it. Me now ask it, come sit down and watch parliament all the time and see these things, and you know what takes off? What PNP is saying. Right? These are the things, and if we come here every single day and we say repost the video them, we share them. Some of us created groups because of these very same things, and not because we want to sit in that group and chat, but because we want to centralize the messages that we're getting from the party. We share it on every single page. This is what, so while we're saying, yes, the party lacking, I understand a little bit, but at the same time, the party been a push out too much message. Look pa when Nesta was there, and we see him on as labor right tear him down and say him not do nothing, while thousands of videos were coming out.
I totally agree with you. Let me
And
tell
the
you.
final point I want to
merge.
make, the final point I want to make, I had a conversation with a member of the party most recently, very, very recently. And you know what they said to me? It was shocking for me to hear, but I guess it's their truth. Them said them shocked for no say. I saw TikTok did go on with the misinformation. Them said them shocked. It was a wake-up call for them. And you know what they had to do? They had to go back to the hierarchy of the party. Literally the party leader, 5:13 in the morning. So I don't know what was happening, but them say it was a shocker to them. Me no know.
Well,
I
all
will
right.
listen on as I was
Lashika?
doing. Yeah.
Right. I don't want to sound like we are bash a party, because it was more of an assessment as to what we can do better in going forward, right? How we can improve the communication in going forward. So we don't want to take a turn like we actually a bash a party, but it's always important to look at what we can do better and try to do better, right? So we are just saying that we would like to see more being done from the party level, right? From that level, right? I think we're doing an excellent job on social media, right? And I think we are dominating the space.
Well, I believe, and I saw with my own eyes, that there was a distinct turnaround in terms of presence and in terms of messaging. Zane, I don't think that it was what we're seeing now is the same as what we had before. I personally believe that some of the moves that they made, such as turning Dana into information minister, I think that was a very, very positive move. And I think that we've seen a certain bounce in terms of the press conferences that we have had. And I think the social media message, the message on social media has been more focused now. Zane? So some people will say, "Oh, there's there's a clear message."
Minority now turned to the articulate majority.
Yeah. Now, we need to make a decision as to how we're going to shift the message, and that again, I think, is something that should come from Party Central in terms of what they want us to focus on. I don't think at this point in time we need everybody scattered and all over the place saying different things. I think we need to concentrate our message going into the general election.
Right, and I think that is what they are doing now. That's why we see only Marlon coming out to talk for the most part.
And if you were listening to Marlon and Nationwide, yesterday I think I heard him. Him said him not start campaign yet, and Mark Golding already a ball. Right? Them not start campaign yet. So just imagine, and we still have a bunch of videos that come from the WhatsApp groups, the communities that are created by the Labour Party. So just imagine when we are being flooded with more information, what is going to happen. Yes, we have done it. We bloggers have done it. But at the same time, No, for we could have do more. So we see thousands of labor rights there, and somehow we don't have one video about the party for our page.
So
Jacob, Jacob,
I support
we cannot ever,
everything they say.
Jacob,
Because
we cannot.
I support everything that everybody said, because again, where the conversation started with the question that neighbor asked is how is it packaged? And I went back.
I was hearing the conversation, you know, I've been here a long time listening to
And
you
I
guys,
went back.
long time.
Okay, and I went back, dating from the 70s, come right up, the history of how the party sit down and wait till the PMPs don't spread the lie, then them jump on it. And my wish for the party is for the party to, after them recognize now, to understand that going forward, because the media landscape has changed significantly, and it is easier now for any hollow head to just jump onto a live and just put something out there and sow a seed. The party need to realize that they need to establish a group, whether it is going to be in the shadows or what, to maintain a presence out there in the space. Because if we allow too many lies to stay too long, then the seeds will be germinated and then it becomes harder. The lie easier for selling, guys. And we have to go double time to counter that with the truth. It is harder to sell the truth. Why? Because sometimes the lie.
and it takes many many rebuttals.
Hold on then,
Okay.
foresight.
Yeah.
We cannot discount the science of marketing in a general. Me keep saying this, you know. We have to have time in our with message by saying it over and over and over. We get lost to, you know, so a time into all of this. And I'm telling you, in my view, that is where the other side have it wrong. Then shoot out all of them bullets. People now get disinterested in what they say.
That's a
They're
true.
at peak. They're at their peak.
They went to their bottommost.
Those
And don't
lives
tell
would
them
have
they're not going
no,
to
but
peak.
well, under envy.
They
Those
went to
lives
the-
would have been alive no, you know, if it weren't for us on social media debunking them, you know.
Exactly.
It wouldn't
Understood.
work.
Yeah, man.
Understood.
So you have to
But we
understand
are
that it is
No,
not so much
foresight,
that the
foresight,
lives
foresight.
have become stale, and we steal out the lives.
foresight.
It had to be
But we
challenged.
are foresight. We
It's
are
not been challenged
expected
by
to
party
play that
central.
role.
It was been challenged. Hold on,
No,
what I'm
man.
saying. But
We are
It was-
expected to play that role. Remember that, you know. Remember 2016, the articulate minority. That was us, you know. That
But
that
dog,
because
dog,
spoke
what
about,
I'm
you know.
was supper.
And we
If
know that
we
we
never
going to have to
depend
come
it-
out. No, but the reality is that we supposed to play for a party.
No, man, we know
We
that.
not just
And we
sit down and
comment
take it
us for that.
foolishness.
And that is why I'm saying we comment us for that. Remember saying, we are talking
Yeah,
about
man,
party
then do
central.
not disagree with that. We
Right.
did well, in my view, and we have to continue doing it. And now the other part of the next stanza going to rev up. I heard Marlon make the comment and I knew about it. There are some things that needed to be straightened. I agree, right? Internally, or we're going to do it, we're going to centralize the information where if we come out and you have one voice, we have one beret, we deal with the war of words, right? And we are seeing it now, and we just have to
And-
back it, and we
and
continue to
Vivi,
do what we are doing.
I wish I could have shared with you guys something that was said critically in another meeting that I had with the hierarchy of the party. I wish I could have shared, but we can't share it. And when you look at it that way, the approach that the government is taking, you would understand. Trust me, say, when I hear it, I can no longer complain that the party is not doing what it's supposed to do. I cannot share it here, but we will understand. I understand, right? I will not repeat it, but if you guys got an insight as to why the party has not started, it has nothing to do with candidates, absolutely nothing to do with candidate selection. Why they have not started as yet, they have a particular reason, and a very, very, very good reason. And it is right before our eyes, but because we're not looking at it like that, we're not able to see it. But I just cannot repeat it.
Okay, no problem.
Me think me know about.
No, sorry, JLP. Let's repeat that again. What did I say?
I said the party has a particular reason why they have not started fully or even partially their campaigning as yet. they have a reason. I just cannot repeat the reason. It's a very valid reason. It's right before our eyes. It has nothing to do with candidate selection. It's nothing like that. But it is a very, very valid reason. A very valid reason. We all know it, but because we're not looking at it like that, we're not able to see it.
No, them they are range.
Okay, cool.
Not a gunshot. That's all me sure.
All me can tell you now. With the
And
party
then can't get no more. Done it done.
And the traction on the ground. Even without a campaign or any form of aggressive campaign.
I want to just say the other side I run out of money. I really that to just on the awful.
You know the engineer? If we are where we are now, before we start campaign, you can just imagine what is going to happen.
The party is in a good place to launch your campaign now, guys. We have done a great job. They're in a good place to launch a campaign. That's all I can say.
And the proof of the pudding is in the eating. We want 2 elections doing the right thing. Right? And we're going for the third one. And we're going to do more than what we did before.
And when you see the PNP throw in the towel and draw for PJ, we must know.
Anyway, Dappers, I have to run out and thing. I'll talk to y'all. I'll catch up with y'all later, all right?
Let's submit yourself.
Yeah, man, I like what I shape up now, but trust me, earlier, sometime like in a lot of part of last year, trust me, when I hear the lies, like PNP continue to tell lies and they were going unchallenged, I never like that, to tell the truth. It wasn't a comfortable feeling. But now, different ball game.
We really need foresight to maintain the political. We need to keep Belmont Road open, though, brother.
The momentum?
No, Belmont Road. We need to keep. We can't just win government and wait till when we reach 4 years or 4.5 years, then we surface. We need to keep Belmont Road open. Even if you're going to have a team in the shadows, and fight the battle. We need to have people out.
You see, the problem is not protecting.
Foresight.
The approach sometimes creates a lot of certainty in the minds of your supporters, of the party supporters, because everybody's in the dark as to what is happening, right? So people want to feel the party, and when they're not feeling the party, then they come up with, it creates a kind of, maybe we say nervous.
Then it become public and it will feature bad on the party.
Right.
So my
and nobody wants to see that place where you're just uncertain about everything. You don't know what is happening,
I just really keep the communication, man, and make them feel like say yes, my party still there. You vote for 63, you vote for 49 member of parliament. But when you look on your TV, all you see are 18, which is the cabinet. Come on.
Yes.
And every now and then once a week you see MP where you vote for. No, sir. They said don't know and that people are a message that people are trying to send. Keep the activity going, whether from Party Central, Marland upon radio now. Yeah, listen to people out of the main part of your party. So somebody have to reach upon radio too.
Yes.
Foresight? Upon radio between 2011 to 2015.
Oh, sorry. I was muted all along, and Lashika came on, and I was trying to ask that question, and I never got it. I never got it in. But what I want to say though is it not concerning that despite the brilliant record that we have, the perception still remains that we haven't done enough sufficient for the poor? Isn't that what we are arguing, that the message has to be packaged?
Well, yes, it has to be packaged, but I don't have no fear. As I said, as Lashika was saying earlier, I might not have the information she has, but I have some information about how the party is going to move the campaign forward. The thing is, we have to find a way, even if to softly communicate this message to those who are down there. So we leave them too disenchanted, and then we jump in an election campaign, and then feel like say a true election time now you come talk to them. Because guess what? I know everybody we are able to carry along the same way. I know everybody watch JIS and watch Parliament on a Tuesday. Some people just glimpse it on TVJ News on Tuesday night.
We not clearly understand you.
I not clearly understand what TVJ present because they might be presenting it from a particular context with a particular ulterior motive.
Neighbor, it's because I believe in not leaving any window at all open, not even a crack for the opponent. Crush him, right?